questioning now?
I don't know exactly how long he's been under question. It's been intermittent. It has not been continuous.
But so far, he's given absolutely no sign of weakening under the questioning?
No.
Are you and the rest of the police convinced you have the right man now?
I think we do.
Are there any other suspects linked with Oswald?
No. Not prime suspects. There's others we want to talk to.
Yes, sir. What will be done with Oswald?
Well, he has been charged. He will be transferred to the county jail and await grand jury action on it.
Chief, when will he be transferred to the county jail?
That I don't know. As soon as we get through talking to him, probably maybe sometime today.
Has he made any admission this morning in your further questioning of him about the killing of President Kennedy?
I have not talked to him, and I don't think anyone else has.
What are you waiting for now, Chief, in terms of further interrogation?
Well, we just want to talk to him some more.
When will you do that?
I imagine in a few minutes.
This will be before his transfer to the county jail.
Yes.
Do you expect that he will be brought down this corridor, Chief?
Yes.
Chief, is there still any word how he got from downtown out to the Oak Cliff section?
Not that I know of.
Just so far, what evidence has been uncovered, Chief? In addition to the weapon, etc.
I wouldn't want to elaborate on all the evidence that has been uncovered.
And what about his background?
Well, he has a background, of course, is generally known now. He defected to Russia in 1959 and married a Russian girl, and then last August, I understand, he went to the American consulate and asked to be brought back to the United States.
How would you describe his mood during the questioning?
Very arrogant. Has been all along.
What does he say, Chief?
He just denies everything.
Does he say anything else?
Not too much. Well, I don't know. I haven't personally been interrogating him.
Has he admitted that he was in the building at the time the shots were fired?
Well, we know he couldn't deny that. We have witnesses.
But he did deny it, didn't he?
How long has he been?
I think he denies everything.
Chief Curry, how long has he been in Dallas, to your knowledge?
I think approximately 2 months.
And he is an employee of a bookbinding firm which operated...
I understand it's a Texas book depository.
Is there any doubt in your mind, Chief, that Oswald is the man who killed the president?
I think this is the man that killed the president, yes.
Now, you're going to bring him down here for further interrogation in a few minutes. What do you heard the music?
Chief, could you tell us what you might have found in his rooming house in the way of literature or any papers connecting him?
We found a great amount of communist literature, communist books. I couldn't tell you just what all it was, but it was a large box, probably a box that probably 2 by 2.
2 feet by 2 feet?
Yes, or 2 by 3 feet, and probably 1.5 foot tall. I'd say it's 2/3 full of different types of books and materials.
Chief, we understand you have the results of the paraffin test which were made to determine whether Oswald had fired a weapon. Can you tell us what those tests show?
I understand that it was positive.
What does that mean?
It only means that he fired a gun.
Chief,
this doesn't...
were there powder burns or powder marks on his cheek or...
I don't know that. I don't know that.
What do you know about on his hand?
Yeah.
That he fired a gun, Chief, not the rifle or the pistol.
That's right.
We just said a gun.
Chief, would you give us some details as to what form the literature was in and what kind of literature it was specifically? Where was it put out? What did it say?
I haven't examined all of it. I just understand it was communist literature.
It's English.
In English?
Yes, I think it was in English.
Chief, is there any plan for a reenactment of the crime, to take him to the scene or to do anything in that respect?
Is there any evidence that anyone else may have been linked with Oswald to this shooting?
At this time, we don't believe so. We are talking to a man that works in the same building that we have in our subversive files, and we are talking to him, but he denies any knowledge of it.
How old is this man, Chief?
I don't know.
Has he been associated with Oswald in the past?
We don't know that. We know that he works at the same place.
How long has he worked there?
I don't know how long the other man has worked.
What type of
How Oswald got to the other side of town? Is there anything that can come up of that? Did he get over by a bus, by a car? He couldn't have walked.
I don't know. We have heard that he was picked up by a Negro in a car.
That is not confirmed.
No, it's not confirmed as far as I know.
Are you looking for the Negro?
We would like to know about him. If this is so, we would certainly like to find him.
Chief Curry, could you detail for us what led you to Oswald?
Not exactly, except in the building. When we went to the building, he was observed in the building at the time, but the manager told us that he worked there. And the officers passed him on up then because the manager said he is an employee.
Is that before the shooting or after?
After the shooting.
After the
Do you think the smudged fingerprints that have been found on the rifle which killed the president will be able to establish the identity of the killer?
We hope so, but I couldn't say positive at this time that they will be.
Would that be enough to convict him?
I don't know whether it would be enough to convict him or not. If we can put his prints on the rifle, it certainly would connect him with the rifle. And if we can establish that this is the rifle that killed the president.
How many shots had been fired from the rifle?
3.
Have you been able to trace the rifle? Do you know where it was
No, we're
purchased?
attempting to do that at this
Is there
time.
any connection yet between this and the firing at Major General Walker?
I do not know.
What was the subversive evidence on the other man that works in the building that you have in your subversive file?
Just that he attended meetings and was associated with groups that were left-wing groups.
Fair play for Cuba groups?
I don't know whether that was
You
one or
haven't
not.
found a car, I guess, right?
No,
He doesn't have any car as far as you know.
no, as far as we know.
Did you say, Chief, that a policeman had seen him in the building
Yes,
after the shot was
Yes.
fired? Why didn't he arrest him then?
because the manager of the place told us that he was an employee. He said, he's all right, he's an employee.
Did he look suspicious to the policeman at this point?
I imagine the policeman was checking everyone he saw as he went into the building.
Well, then after this happened, what was done in terms of getting the trail back to Oswald?
The next thing we knew is when he turned up as a suspect in the murder of the police officer. And then the connection was made between the two.
Chief, did anyone see him shoot the police officer?
Yes.
Who was that?
I don't know the name,
Male or
but there's,
female? Or
I think there were 3 witnesses, I
three witnesses
understand.
saw him shoot the officer.
Has he made any admissions at all about
No.
the shooting of the police officer?
No, he
Nothing?
denies everything.
Why do you think the police officer went to him in the street? What was the reason?
I think he suspected him because of a description that had been put out on the radio.
On the police radio.
Where did they
Chief, has anyone come forward saying they had seen a rifle after hearing the first shot, possibly looking toward the window? Has anyone
I
seen
read in
the
the
gun?
paper where someone said it, but we don't have.
You don't have
I
that
don't have
person,
it,
and the
unless-
police department would like anybody to
Yes.
come forward who
Yes.
did see it.
Yes,
In other words, you're still looking for public help in this case.
absolutely, absolutely.
Chief Curry, when you first knew of the Dallas policeman's death, what then led you to the theater? What information did you have from there?
I understand that someone called, I think the ticket taker from the theater called about the suspicious action of this person.
Could you describe briefly what happened inside the theater?
Well, they were searching the theater, and as the officer approached this man, he jumped up and said, "This is it," and drew a gun, attempted to draw a gun. They grappled with him, were able to twist the gun away from him, and he was resisting violently, and several officers were subdued him. I had two officers that had to have treatment for injuries, wrestling around over the seats in the theater, and another officer was scratched up but didn't have to have treatment.
Is there any subversive background? Was there any?
I'm sorry, there's too many talking. I can't understand.
This man's apparent subversive background, was there any surveillance? Were police aware of his presence in Dallas?
We in the police department here did not know he was in Dallas. I understand the FBI did know that he was in Dallas.
Chief, do you,
Normally,
Chief,
fair practice for the FBI to inform the police, municipal
Yes.
police department.
Chief, do you have,
We did not have
But
the
you were not
knowledge.
informed.
We had not been informed of this man.
Chief, do you have any concern for the safety of your prisoner in view of the high feeling among the people of Dallas over the assassination of the president?
No, but necessary precautions will be taken, of course, but I'm not, I don't think that the people will try to take the prisoner away from us.
Do you regard the county jail as a more secure place to house the prisoner? Is that why you're transferring him from the city jail?
It's customary after a man is filed on that he be transferred. We only keep him in our jail until he is filed on. After he's been filed on, well, then he's the sheriff's responsibility.
Will there be extra police at the county jail to assure
I don't
his-
know.
When
Sheriff
will he
Deputy,
be transferred, Chief?
I do not know.
Where is the county jail?
At the end, about a block from where the president was killed.
Chief Curry, when will the formal grand jury action be taken to your
Mr.
estimation?
Wade told me last night or told the press last night, probably the middle of next week.
Chief, can you tell us in summary what directly links Oswald to the killing of the president?
Well, the fact that he was on the floor where the shots were fired from immediately before the shots were fired, the fact that he was seen carrying a package to the building, the fact that...
when was he carrying that package? The same day?
Yesterday morning.
You figure that was a disassembled rifle?
I don't think it was disassembled. It was, the package was large enough for the rifle to be intact.
A box, or was it a wrapped?
Wrapped in paper.
And you have the witness who places him there after the time of the shooting.
My police officer can place him there after the time of the shooting.
When do you expect the report?
The officer who wanted to stop him and then was told by the manager that he worked.
Yes.
Chief, when have you heard from the Civil Liberties Union? Have they sent a...
They were up here last night.
Will they probably have a lawyer...
I don't know. They haven't sent one up here, but they wanted to know if he'd been warned of his rights and so forth, and we told him that he had.
But no lawyer has seen Oswald.
No lawyer has seen.
Has Oswald made any request for a lawyer?
He has, but he didn't say who he wanted or anything, so we couldn't just go out and start calling lawyers for him. It's not our responsibility.
ACLU today, then?
I don't know.
Heck, as of now, it would be up to Oswald to hire his own lawyer if he wants one.
His mother, I understand, at this time has said that she would get him an attorney this morning.
Has he been arraigned yet for murdering the
president? He was arraigned last night about 1:30.
Chief Curry,
Yes.
Where does his mother live, Chief Curry?
I don't know.
Is she from Dallas?
No, I think she's from Fort Worth.
You have said, of course, Chief, that Oswald hasn't made any admissions. Is he responding to questions? Is he refusing to answer questions at this stage?
He doesn't answer questions except to say that's ridiculous, that's silly, that's and deny any knowledge of everything.
Did he say he was anywhere else at the time this was happening?
I don't know.
Does he seem confident of himself?
He says he was at the building, but he says he was there because he worked there.
Chief Curry, thank you very much.
Does he seem mentally right, Chief?
Yes, he's mentally right.
You don't think the man is off his rocker?
No, sir. I don't. No, sir. I don't think so.
Chief,
thank you, Chief Curry. We've just been talking here at Dallas Police Headquarters with the Chief of Police, Jessie Curry. In just a few moments, we expect Oswald will be brought through this door from his jail cell one floor above, taken through the Homicide Bureau, down to a police conference room on the lower level for further questioning. As of now, he has admitted nothing, denied all association, any guilt, anything to do with the assassination of President Kennedy. This is Bob Clark, ABC, at Dallas Police Headquarters.
Clear the hall, please. Whenever this door is open, they come through here. We don't want any of you questioning this boy. We don't want any of you pushing. We want to cooperate with you. We want to help you every way in the world that we can, but we're going to have room to work.
Do you mind if we shout a question at him without stopping him?
No question at him, no way.
All right.
The more you upset him, the more difficult it is for us to talk to him.
We want to do whatever you want us to do. So if you say no questions,
if you go beyond the door.
Then
back up as far as you can against that wall. I want you to stay there.
Can we call that the second part of the interrogation?
Don't want you calling out nothing.
let's make it clear we have all agreed with the chief that we will not ask Oswald any questions.
We want to cooperate with you, gentlemen, every way in the world that we can. But if we have to, we may have to ask you to get back beyond this door and stay there.
Sir, in that event, could the cameraman be in front if they're not going to be able to?
I don't have anything to do with the placing of your amusement or your cameras.
We'll cooperate, but we
I just
can't.
don't want any questions asked.
Let us be in the
We'll be locked up back there. We just can't take that chance, but we'll duck down. The door has just opened. Here is Lee Oswald, the ex-Marine accused of killing President Kennedy. Oswald's face is rather badly bruised. Police explained yesterday that there was a sharp scuffle when he was arrested in a Dallas theater. There were no questions put to Oswald by reporters. We agreed at the request of the chief of police that we would make no effort to question him here this morning. Oswald has been taken into the Homicide Bureau, where he will be questioned further about details of the two killings here yesterday, that of President Kennedy and a Dallas policeman. As of now, Oswald has admitted nothing. The chief of police told us a few minutes ago in an interview here that he responds to questions. He hasn't refused to answer questions, but he gives such replies as ridiculous or that's insane or I had nothing to do with it. Here again is Chief of Police Jessie Curry of the Dallas Police Department.
We haven't planned any. We might later on if it looks like we have anything that would be of interest to us.
Well, even if you don't, after you get through interrogating, is there a possibility of a general conference for all the newsmen this afternoon?
We hadn't thought about it. I'll see about it later.
How long do you expect Oswald will be questioned at this time,
I
Chief?
don't have the least idea.
Can you tell us who is conducting the questioning this morning?
J.W. Fritz, Captain.
He is the head of the Homicide Bureau.
Also, there's an FBI man in there. There's also a Secret Service man in there.
Okay. How many police officers are participating in the questioning?
That's the three that are there.
Just those three?
Captain Fritz, the fire department, an FBI agent, and a Secret Service agent.
How did he get those?
Thank you very much, Chief.
When he was fighting the officers in the theater yesterday,
I see
he was attempting to shoot one of the officers in the theater and did snap the pistol, and they had to wrestle him down. I had 3 officers injured during the arrest of this man.
Chief, has Oswald been interrogated since last night?
No.
This one is first.
Thank you again, Chief.
Counsel for him this morning.
Thank you very much. Is she still in Dallas?
I don't know that she's in Dallas, but she talked to Captain Fritz this morning, and he told her to get counsel. It's perfectly all right with us for him to see counsel and have counsel.
Did I hear you say before that these paraffin tests were positive?
They were positive, I understand.
And would this be called sufficient evidence?
It only shows that he fired a gun. It doesn't. You couldn't determine whether that was the pistol that he fired or whether it was the rifle.
Thank you very much.
There has been some information that has gone out. I want to correct anything that might have been misinterpreted or misunderstood, and that is regarding information that the FBI might have had about this man. I do not know if and when the FBI has interviewed this man. The FBI is under no obligation to come to us with any information concerning anyone. They have cooperated with us in the past 100%. Anytime there's any information that they feel that might be helpful to us, they have always come to it with us. Last night someone told me, I don't even know who it was, that the FBI did know this man was in the city and had interviewed him. I wish to say this, of my knowledge, I do not know this to be a fact, and I don't want anybody to get the wrong impression that I am accusing the FBI of not cooperating or of withholding information, because they are under no obligation to us, but have always cooperated with us 100%.
Chief, just to make this...
I do not know if and when they have ever interviewed this man.
Just to make this clear, Chief, you were talking about Oswald and the reports that the FBI had information about him before the assassination.
That's correct. And I wish to make this statement that I do not know, of my knowledge, whether they have anything on this man or not, or whether or not they have ever interviewed him. I do say this, that they have always in the past, if they had information that they thought would be helpful to us, they have come to us with it.
Had you been given an erroneous or unreliable report that they had some information about him?
I don't know. Someone last night told me this, and I don't even know who told me, but they just said that last night that the FBI did know this man was here. I wish to make this statement that I do not know whether they knew it or not, and I certainly am not saying that the FBI knew something that we should have known, didn't tell us. They're under no obligation to us, but they have always cooperated with us.
Chief, can you tell us when Oswald was questioned this morning if he continued to deny his guilt, to deny that he had anything to do with the killing?
That I don't know, because I haven't contacted the captain since he's been with him.
Chief, now that you've made the record clear as to the matter of FBI cooperation, can you tell us where you now stand in the matter of prosecuting this man?
Well, so far as I know, we're right where we were last night, because I don't know what has developed in the questioning this morning. We are still trying to establish verification on the gun, where it came from, and we're still, yes, the rifle. We're still interviewing many witnesses that were in the area. We have appealed to any citizen who might have been in the area, that might have taken any pictures, that might have seen anything, to come to us. And actually, we probably will have, well, there's no way of estimating how many statements we will take. We have several people taking statements now.
Chief, was the subject of a polygraph, a lie detector test, broached with Oswald, and if so, what was the outcome?
I understood that it was offered to him and he refused it.
Do you know when this occurred, sir?
Yesterday, I understand.
Did he give any reason for refusing to take the lie detector test?
I understand he said he didn't have to take it and he didn't want to.
There was something about a pop bottle being found up there on that floor up there. Was there one, and were there prints on it?
I don't know. That's the first I'd heard of that.
Chief Curry, what are your plans now in dealing with Oswald himself? Will he be interrogated here further, or will he be transferred to the county jail to await presentment to the grand jury?
He will go to the county jail. I don't know just when, but I'm thinking probably sometime today. I couldn't be sure. It's more convenient here to have him near us where we can talk to him when we need to, but we probably will transfer him soon.
You may then question him again before he is transferred to the county jail.
It's possible, yes.
Has an attorney turned up for him yet?
I have not heard of one. I understood that his mother was obtaining an attorney for him this morning, but I haven't. I don't know.
He told us as he left this morning that he would like to contact a Mr. Apt of New York City to serve as his attorney. Do you know who he was referring to?
No, I don't. No.
Any information question on the rifle and the revolver?
No, sir, we haven't had a return yet.
As far as you know so far, is there any evidence that there's anybody else involved in this?
No, sir, not that we know of.
Was Mr. Molina being arrested or just picked up?
He came in voluntarily this morning. They went to his home last night and he invited them in. They had a search warrant, but it wasn't necessary to use it because he invited them in and told them they could look around, the officers, and then after they had talked to him last night, they left him at home, and he agreed to come in this morning, and I think he's somewhere in the building now.
Chief, as far as you are concerned, does the investigation at this hour point toward the possibility of accomplices?
We don't believe so at this time.
You have no information linking Mr. Molina with the case?
No. The only reason that we wanted to talk to him was the fact that we do have him listed in some of our subversive files, and he did work in the building. And so I don't know whether he admitted knowing him or not.
Is there any indication from the investigation to date that would indicate motive on the part of Mr. Oswald?
So far as I know, there's no indication of it.
Are you satisfied that you've got him traced directly from the scene of the shooting to his arrest?
Yes.
Can you account
well,
for
now,
all the time?
wait. You mean from the scene of the presidential assassination?
Yeah, to the time.
No, we haven't got all of it
How much
traced.
time is involved in there? How big a lapse of time?
Roughly 45 minutes, I believe.
He doesn't have a car. It's too far to walk.
I understand that he does not have a car.
Do you have anything other than circumstantial evidence right now?
Well, we have some physical evidence.
Can you tell us anything about that physical evidence?
No, sir, I wouldn't. I don't think I should discuss that.
Now, do you know whether any of the witnesses who have appeared here this morning have given any information that would contribute to the case?
I don't know that.
Do you feel that this case is proceeding as efficiently as you would like it to proceed, or are some doubts beginning to grow as to whether this, in fact, is the man?
No doubts are beginning to grow, but it's a very difficult investigation for the very fact that you see here. It's surrounded by literally hundreds of news people, and there's so many witnesses or people that we need to talk to that it's a very difficult investigation. But I'm not beginning to have any doubts.
Are the resources being applied to this investigation adequate, in your opinion?
Yes.
Would you describe them for us?
We're just using all means possible in the scientific investigations. Of course, these are interrogation and scientific, other scientific aids outside of physical evidence or any other means that we have.
But in addition to the Dallas Police Department, Who else is directly aiding in the investigation?
There's been an FBI, or members of the FBI have been present all throughout this. Members of the Secret Service and members of the state police, that is, Rangers have been here. Sheriff Decker has helped us in the interviewing of many of the witnesses. So we have, but in all of the interrogations, there have been an FBI agent present and also a Secret Service agent present.
Who is in direct command of this investigation?
This investigation is being conducted by Captain J.W. Fritz, actually. Deputy Chief Stevenson's in charge of the Criminal Investigation Division, Captain Fritz in charge of the Homicide Bureau.
Is he coordinating the other agencies which are involved in the investigation?
Yes.
Will we be able to talk to Captain Fritz sometime this afternoon today?
I don't know. That'd be up to him.
Chief, is there any, you say you have something in the way of physical evidence? Do these include anything else besides witnesses?
Yes, but I can't discuss these things with
They
you.
do include other things besides
Yes, yes.
Would these be in the form of writings or indications that he had
I couldn't
planned
go
this?
into it any further.
You
I
feel-
could say this, no, it doesn't. We don't have anything that indicated that he had planned this, any writing or anything, no.
Have you located the source of the rifle?
No, we're still working on that.
Have you had a report as to whether this was the rifle that killed President Kennedy?
We don't have a report.
Do you expect that any time soon, sir?
We expect it soon, but I don't know just when.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chief.
Thanks very much.
This was Chief Jesse Curry of the Dallas Police Department.
This is a statement from Dallas Police Chief Curry.
The FBI has just informed us that they have the order letter for the rifle that we have sent to the laboratory. They have that order letter that they received from a mail order house in Chicago. This order letter has been to the laboratory in Washington, D.C. and compared with known handwriting of our suspect, Oswald, and the handwriting is the same on the order letter as Oswald's handwriting. The return address on this order letter was to the post office box in Dallas, Texas, of our suspect, Oswald, and it was returned under another name. But it has definitely been established by the FBI that the handwriting is the handwriting of Oswald.
Was this a recent purchase? A recent purchase?
This purchase was made on March the 20th.
This year.
This year.
And that's definitely the same gun.
Chief, what about ballistics test, Chief?
The ballistic test, we haven't had a final report, but it is, I understand, will be favorable.
Is this the development you referred to today as making the case ironclad, in your opinion?
This was not what I had reference to earlier.
Could you give us an indication what that is? Were you referring to the photograph earlier?
No.
Where did these photographs come from, Chief?
The photographs were found in out at Irving, where he had been staying and where his wife had been staying.
These are the photographs of the revolver and the rifle.
There is a photograph of him with a revolver on his hip and holding a rifle in his hand.
Does this rifle look like the one that you have that you think is a murder weapon, sir?
It does.
Does it have a telescopic sight?
It does.
How is he taking this information as it builds up?
I don't know.
Is he showing any awareness?
I don't believe he knows all this as yet. I think the captain is talking to him about it at the present time.
Chief, a rather important point.
Has this gun been connected definitely with that is the order for the rifle, been connected with the rifle which you found?
It has.
Just a moment ago, he came out into the interrogation room bitterly complaining about being deprived of his citizenship rights because he can't take a shower. Do you have any comment on that?
I didn't know he had asked to take a shower. We have a shower up there where he could take a shower if he wants it.
Back to the photograph, did he have in his hand a copy of The Worker, a communist publication with the headline, Be Militant on it?
It seems there's two papers there. One of them, you can see the word Be Militant. On the other, you can see The Worker.
Is this the Weekly Worker from New York?
I don't know.
What was the name under which you ordered the gun? Was that OHV or?
The name the name on the return address was A. Heidel. A. Heidel.
Are you going to confront him with this evidence now?
H-I-D-E-double-L.
Was that the name in which the post office box was rented?
I don't know that.
Chief, you're
pretty certain this is the rifle that killed the president?
Yes.
Will you confront him with this evidence now, Chief?
That I don't know.
Are you on the way in to show him this evidence now?
I'm not.
Has he been shown it?
Captain Fritz is with him now. He will be shown this evidence by Captain Fritz.
Do you consider the case shut tight now, Chief?
We will continue to work on it and try to get every shred of evidence that's possible.
How many photos, Chief, are involved?
I do not know.
Can you give us something about the fact you found this morning, the new facts you mentioned this morning?
No, sir.
Chief, how was the rifle described on the order to the mail order house?
That I do not know.
What was the
Did you say you had the order?
I said the FBI had the order.
Oh, I see.
Did they get this through a tip? Do you know how it was developed, this evidence?
I don't know how the FBI got their information. We received some information ourselves.
As a tip?
Yes.
But that's definitely the same gun which had been sent to Washington.
Yes.
Can you tell us what the breakthrough was you referred to
now
earlier?
let me say this. I can't say for sure on that.
What's that, Chief?
He asked if this was the gun that we sent to Washington, the gun that was ordered. I can't say definitely on that. I don't know.
It's the same type of gun.
Yes.
The same type of gun.
Yes.
Serial number the same, Chief?
That I don't know.
But you say ballistics tests are encouraging so far.
I believe the gun was supposed to cost $12.78, I believe. I believe it was advertised in some magazine for that.
So, Chief, you say the ballistics tests so far are encouraging?
The name of the mail order house.
The ballistics tests are encouraging?
The ballistic tests are encouraging.
Do you have the advertisement out of the magazine which advertises this?
No, I don't, Johnny.
Had Oswald ever used the alias Heidel before?
I do not know. That's all I have to tell you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Here comes Oswald down the hall again.
Did you buy that rifle? That's dispatches you people have been given, but I emphatically deny these charges.
Oswald has hustled through a doorway.
I have not committed any acts of violence.
He says he has nothing against anybody. He has not committed any act of violence.
Assault to murder.
Assault what?
Assault to murder against Governor John B. Connally. That charge has been filed also.
Can you read that charge?
Admit owning the rifle?
Sir?
Does he admit owning the rifle?
He will not admit ever owning a rifle, no.
Well,
What did he say when you showed him the pictures?
I wasn't there.
What did Fritz say?
Captain Fritz said he didn't get much out of it. No.
since this is apparently the termination of your day with Oswald, could you sum up what progress was made today toward a confession, if any?
I don't think we've made any progress toward a confession.
You don't think so?
What about building the case? Building your case?
I think our case was in good shape this morning and is much stronger tonight. We will continue to work on every possible shred of evidence that comes to our attention.
Why are you so pessimistic about a confession?
Well, you know, we've been in the business a good while, and sometime you can sort of draw your own conclusions after talking to a man over a period of time. Of course, he might have a change of heart, but I'd be rather surprised if he did.
Chief, do you consider the FBI letter and the photograph a real blockbuster in the investigation?
I would say that that was a very helpful link there. A link in our chain of evidence here.
Chief, is that the warrant you have?
This is the warrant of arrest,
Can we see it, sir? Just hold it up. Good, thank you.
What court's that?
Was he come
That was filed in the same court, Justice Court Precinct Number 2. Same as the other cases.
Where will he be arraigned on that?
On the powder burn. Was there anything from the FBI on that?
No, I haven't had that report yet.
Chief, you say basic things are closed down now?
Basically, yes.
When will the arraignment be on this?
I don't know.
Tonight?
No, I don't think so.
Could you give us a typical reaction of Oswald when you show him, for instance, the picture?
I was not present, so I couldn't give you that.
Can you tell us why his mother and his wife were here today and what they did?
They visited with him. I understand that he asked them to attempt to get his attorney, John Apt, out of New York. And I think that's what they were doing.
Has anyone heard anything from Apt?
Well, it's hearsay with me, and I don't know who said this, but somewhere back in the office, someone said that they understood John App did not want to handle the case. Now, that's hearsay as far as I'm concerned.
Do you think we'll have the final ballistics tomorrow?
I think so.
What do you think the results will be?
I think they'll be good.
Did you get a report through telephone today?
I've had some information, but not a formal report.
And the information is positive?
The information is very pleasing to us.
Chief, can I see the warrant again, please, sir?
Yes, sir.
Was he confronted today with all the facts that you told us? And,
Yes.
and even the one you didn't tell us about?
Yes.
Could we have an opportunity to see the transparencies that show him with the guns?
I don't think so. These might be, we might attempt to use this as evidence, and it might cause us not to be able to introduce them if it had been published in a paper.
But he's clearly identifiable in the photo.
They are clearly identified.
So is he.
Yes. Sir?
Can you say where they came from?
They came from where his wife stays, I believe, out in Irving.
Chief, will you transfer him under heavy guard?
I'll leave that up to Sheriff Decker. That's his responsibility.
Sheriff takes custody of him here.
Yes. That's all I have, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That is attitude surprise you about got in here at 10 o'clock in the morning. It's very helpful. Thank you. Okay. It's pretty good. He's a very nice guy. Huh? All right, well,